My name is Veronica, and I have bipolar depression and schizophrenia. So, back in 2022, I went to see my physician for just a routine checkup, and she asked me if I needed anything, and I told her, yeah, I need help because it just felt like my mental was just always under attack. And I said, I think I need to see a therapist. And she said, okay. And she scheduled me an appointment to see a therapist here in town. I go to my therapy appointment, and he's asking me a lot of questions about, my past and, and my present, like how I was currently feeling in the moment. And in that moment, I found out I was schizophrenic, I have bipolar depression, and I have severe anxiety. It was like a weight being lifted off my shoulders because I always knew that it was something always wrong with me. This is not easy to talk about because I've dealt with, mental problems for many years, and it's done things like it's ruined relationships. It's ruined relationships with family, friends, co-workers, just anybody that's in close proximity to me. It just ruins relationships with them. And, one will ask like, well, how is it ruining your relationships? Well, first off, let me tell you what it's like being schizophrenic. It's like having severe anxiety. It's like having this voice in the back of your mind telling you things like, they're out to get you. You better be careful. Watch out, watch out. And because of that, oh gosh, I am always on edge. I'm always thinking that people are always out to get me. And I'm not trying to make excuses or nothing like that, but in my defense, the reason why I feel that way was because, of trauma, PTSD. I struggle with making new friends because I think they're not being genuine. I think they're always talking about me. Because when I was in elementary school, I suffered from having a lazy eye. And because I had a lazy eye, I was called names all the time, like cockeyed. They called me cockeyed a lot growing up. And it would hurt my feelings. And there were situations where people that I thought were my friends were talking about me. There would be situations where I'll walk up to, a group of girls, and I realized in that moment the girl who I thought was my friend was talking about me, and I can see her making nasty faces at me, like she was looking at me like that. And so because of that, I've never really trusted having new friends. And then I have like other things that happened to me in the past that I'm not really trying to get into, but having a traumatic childhood really shaped who I became as an adult, because now that I'm much older and much aware, I do acknowledge that I need to let some things go that happened to me in the past, because it's the past, get over it. And that's easier said than done, because I tried therapy, I tried medications, and honestly, nothing has really stuck. Yes, I'm just here to see if this will help, But also, I would like to say this to anybody that I've ever hurt or offended or just did anything to that was just not okay. I truly do apologize because I'm really working on myself. I'm really trying to be a better person for me, my husband, and my children, my family, my friends, my coworkers, anybody that's around me. Like you don't want to be that person. People got to walk around, eggshells because you're crazy. And just I'm really trying. I'm really trying. But like I said, it's easier said than done. It's hard. My name is Veronica, and I'm schizophrenic, and I have bipolar depression. I would also like to add that being schizophrenic and having anxiety has really forced me into this space of loneliness. Whenever I start to have these episodes, I would revert back into being secluded. I purposely will stay away from people because one of the symptoms that I have with my schizophrenia is I tend to overshare, if that makes sense. I talk a lot to the point where eventually I'm talking too much and I say too much. And then I might say some things that are offensive, but I don't mean any harm by it. I just, for some reason, I just get to yapping. And then when I realize that I said too much, I feel embarrassed and I feel ashamed. And I just revert back into this this stop. I revert back into isolation because I just I can't face that person anymore because I know I offended them. But I'm really not trying to do that. And I'm not trying to be that person. I'm really, really working on being somebody way better. I just need prayer, prayer, lots of patience, and a lot of time, and a lot of forgiveness too. That's the number one thing that I really would like for people to have towards me is forgiveness. Um, but I am aware of who I used to be, and I'm aware of who I'm trying to be, which is somebody who is a lot better when it comes to relationships and socializing. But reverting back into like this space of loneliness is the only thing I know how to do, and I'm just becoming very tired of that. I'm becoming tired of people not liking me.